Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me. Now, today I'm very excited. I get to share with you a brand new product from Spellbinders called the Glimmer Hot Foil System. This is a machine and it is so neat. This is the back of the box here. But this will add foiling to lots of different mediums: cardstock, watercolor paper, chipboard, fabric, ribbon, leather, you name it, it will add hot foil too. So I'm so excited I get to share with you what comes in the box, and then also we'll make a few projects with it for the first time. So here is the Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil System. Pretty little box here. On the reverse side you have some fantastic inspiration, and of course you have the kit contents. And so I'm so looking forward to playing with this, and so we get to do this together. So I'll just flip this over. We're going to open it up and take a look. We're going to pull out the contents, and I get to share with you what's inside. Now of course you get your manual, and you have your safety precautions, step-by-step instructions, contents. There's also tips and tricks and techniques that you could reference to in this little manual, so keep a hold of that. And I'm going to remove the plastic off of everything and we'll take a look. Okay, first you get your base plate, your platform there, you get your power cord, and then you also get the power cord is great. Not just for United States, guys, they have a power cord that's universal too. So if you live in the UK, they have a different power cord for that. So this machine is perfect for anyone, anywhere. Okay, let's zoom out, take a look at our base here. It's on the lightweight side, which is great. On the back here is your connector and then your power button. I'm just going to plug it in right now. And the cord's on the longer side, so you don't have to fuss about it being too short, which is nice. Okay, I'm going to take my platform. My platform is actually heavier than the base. And then there's a connector there. You just slide it in until it clicks, and you are good to go. So that's the machine itself. Next you get a cooling pad. It's a silicone cooling pad, which is nice. And then you get a pair of magnetic tweezers. There's a little magnet on there, which is really nice. And then you get 2 of the Glimmer Plates included in the package. I'll show you those in a minute, but this is a spacer shim. And then you get your acrylic plate for the very top. And then these are your Glimmer Plates. You get a real pretty oval frame. And then you also get a sentiment. This is Best Wishes. I'm going to show you how you pick it up. You just you close up your tweezers, and then you pick it up, and then you release. And then, you don't want to release. You don't want to release too soon, otherwise your plate will go flying. But it works wonderful, and you don't have to touch your Glimmer Plates. Okay, you get 2 foils. You get a rose gold, and then you also get a silver, and there's tons in these little rolls. So you're all set with everything you need, except for you do need a Platinum 6 die cutting machine, just so because your base is what you're going to put through your die cut machine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to light up the and you do have a power light indicator. And then that second light there shows a platform ready light. And then you also have a timer light, which is wonderful. So I'm going to wait until my platform ready light is lit. And in the meantime, we're going to grab some foil. I'm going to use this real pretty oval Glimmer plate and just take some silver foil and go over the top of it. Using my scissors, I'm going to trim down a piece. And then since it is oval, I'm going to cut off the corners just so it's a better fit here. I love the fact that you can add foiling to ribbon. I think that's going to be so neat. I was even tempted to get a t-shirt and put it on there to see if it would do it. But that's another tutorial. But I'm going to place my Glimmer plate on my machine along with my sentiment. This is Best Wishes. Kind of arrange them how I want it to go. And then next, I'm still waiting for that platform ready light to go on, which it just did. So I have a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Have that on the side there. I'm going to take my foil with the shiny side down, and you can see I can move it and it's not going to affect my platform at all. It's not going to stick, which is great. So if you want to adjust it, it's perfectly fine. And your platform's not that hot. You won't get burned, basically. I'm going to take my paper and my cardstock and go over it. And then I'll take my shim plate, place that on top, and then I'll place my top plate right on the very top. Now I'm going to push the timer, and you can see that the light's flashing. Once my light is done flashing, we can remove our base. While that's heating up, I'm going to grab my Platinum 6. We're going to scoot everything over and make a little bit of room here. I'm going to scoot it up just a bit. And it doesn't take too long for it to warm up, which is nice. Okay, you can see here my light just stopped flashing. So I am going to grab my base, just give it a light little tug, and it'll disconnect from the main system there. And it's not too hot either. I mean, underneath it's a little bit warm. I wouldn't put your hands underneath. I'd use the handle. But you just place that in your Platinum 6, and then you slowly run it through. I think the key is to even coverage of your foiling is to go really slow. That way there's a nice even transfer. And I'm going to go forward and then back. And because I am going to use my foil system again, I'm going to connect it. And then I'm going to remove both my shim and my top plate. And you can see on the reverse side of my cardstock it's stuck, which is so neat. I'm going to carefully just lift it up, and you have a beautiful foiled frame with sentiment. I think this is the best thing since peanut butter jelly. This is so fun, and I'm sure you could probably use the negative piece too. So I'm just going to lift up my glimmer pads, or my glimmer plates, and you can see that the platform is really not that hot, so no worries. I wouldn't leave my hand on it though. Okay, I want to use another product, so I actually have, it's called the Elegant Circle Glimmer Plate. It's beautiful round circle, and it's on the larger side, so I thought it'd be neat to make a card with this. When I lifted it from my packaging, I have the tape on there, so I'm just removing the tape, and I'm going to place this on my base here. I'm going to add that centerpiece. Next, I'm going to grab some foil. Now, the foil I want to use for this one is the rose gold. We'll just trim down a piece that will cover that up. Now, I made the mistake. I think if you use your foiling, I think you should cut it down as close as you can to the size of your glimmer plate, because those corners transferred over to my cardstock. But I'm going to show you how to fix that. It's not a real big deal. But after I have my foil shiny side down, well, I'm going to scoot this over because I want it to offset on my panel here. I'm going to add my foil shiny side down, add my cardstock, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my shim, and then my top plate here. Once I have my layers all put together, I'm going to press my timer. We'll wait a little bit until my timer stops. And once it stops flashing, I'm ready to disconnect from my platform, my base, and I'm going to run that through my Platinum 6. And again, I'm going really slow because I want an even transfer of that foil. I'm going to go forward and then reverse. And then I'm going to just reconnect. We're going to do a little bit more foiling. So I'm going to reconnect to my base here. Remove my shim plate, my top plate, and then we get to see, if I trimmed it down, I wouldn't have that foiling that transferred to my shim, but I'm not worried about that. Now I'm going to remove my foil slowly, and I think that is so gorgeous. This would make fantastic, elegant invitations, wedding cards. Now, I die cut out a happy using a Spellbinders die that well, it says happy, but I placed it on a piece of white cardstock. I wanted to see if it would transfer to a die cut piece. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my foil, shiny side down, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my happy. I wanted to foil just a portion of the top portion of my happy. And so it's basically in the middle of my die cut sentiment. And then I need to create an extra shim. Since this is not a plate, it's just a die, which is cardstock. I added 2 extra pieces of cardstock, and then I added my shim plate and then my top platform. Once my timer was ready to go, I'm going to run that through. I wasn't sure how this would do, but it did fantastic. So if you were to die cut out any sentiments, you could foil any of your sentiments, which is fantastic. Slowly going to do the reverse side here. But I do want to mention that if you do die cut papers or cardstock, you want to add those extra pieces of cardstock as an extra thick shim. You want it to be the basic thickness as the glimmer plate itself. I'm going to use my tool-in-one just to remove this foil. And oh my goodness, it foils my happy die cut just beautifully. And you can see I only foiled the top half of it. I'm going to grab some cardstock so you can see. But that is so pretty. You could do stars, circles, frames, and so I thought this is so neat. And I know you can use your thin dies too to add foil accents. Okay, so that's my foiling for now. I'm going to set my machine aside and we're going to make some projects. I'm going to do a little bit more die cutting. So in my stash I have a butterfly die. I'm going to grab a piece of silver foil cardstock. Now, like I said, if you don't have foil cardstock, you could use your Glimmer hot foil machine. You could die cut your butterfly out of white cardstock and then do the same thing that I did with the happy, just go over your entire white cardstock. I thought that's so neat. I'm also going to use a flourish that came in a previous Spellbinders kit. It's a beautiful small flourish, and I cut it out with some navy blue cardstock. I'm actually going to cut out 2 of those. You don't really need too much embellishing when you use foil on cards, I think, because the foiling is just so pretty. It kind of creates fast and easy cards. So we're going to take the first one that I did here, and you could see the foil went outside my frame area, and it cleans up really nice with a sand eraser. Now this one is the one where I should have trimmed down the edges because there was a heavy amount of foiling. I would suggest you trimming, if you have a circle, I would suggest you trimming the foil in a circle and then placing it on your glimmer machine, because it was a little bit more difficult to remove that foil on a larger area. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors and just trim around my foil frame there, and I did trim down my other panel there to 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it's going to leave me a little bit of a border on my card base. We're going to work on this one first. So I cut out a piece of black cardstock, and I'm just going to adhere that across the lower portion of my panel. Any excess overhanging I want to trim off. And then I used some foam that I got at Spellbinders, and it's on the thicker side. But I like that for this thin, happy sentiment because it's going to give me a lot of dimension. And so I just die cut that out, and it die cut out beautifully. And then I'm going to use my glue to attach my foiled happy to my foam happy. And everything that I used today, guys, I will leave links below for you in the description area for the Glimmer hot foil system. And then the foam here. This is actually a stamp and die set that I'm using with the happy. The first portion of my sentiment is going to say, you are my, so it says you are my happy. But I'm just going to take this, glue this down to my black cardstock. This is going to give me a little bit of dimension because I love my dimension. And here's that first part of my sentiment. Now I'm going to use the same foam tape that I had used for my die cut happy. This way everything is the same width. Use a little bit of glue. And then I wanted to add just something else. So in my stash I have a 3D flower. There's foam mounting on the back. It was white glitter and I thought it'd go really pretty on this card. So I just stuck it down right in the center. And you can see my glue's not sticking too well. So I'm going to grab an acrylic block and weight that down. Now while that's drying, we're going to work on our second card. I'm actually going to grab some foam tape and pop this up and place it directly on my card base. My card base for this card is an A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm just going to remove the release paper and we're going to place that right in the center of our card base. Lovely. Okay, I grabbed some clear gems. I found some in my stash that were ovals that fit the same size oval on the frame there, and I just added 4 gems. Give it a little bit of sparkle. Then we'll go ahead and add our flourishes and our butterfly. And I don't know if I told you guys, but when you run your glimmer plate through your die cutting machine, it actually debosses also. So you have texture on your foiled image, which is fantastic. So it kind of does double duty. Not only does it foil, but it debosses too. After my flourishes here are attached, I'm going to use some glue and add my little butterfly. You don't really need too much when you foil on your cards because that foiling just kind of speaks for itself. So elegant. I'm going to finish off this card with a few blue gems in the center of my butterfly. And then that finishes off my first project there. Easy peasy. So pretty. And then for my second project, we're going to flip over the panel. I still think it's just gorgeous. I love that shimmer. But we're going to add some tape behind here, and we're going to place this on an A2 size card base as well. And then that will finish off my second project. So links again will be down below in the description area in case you guys are interested. But I'm going to have so much fun. I'll be making more projects with my Spellbinders Glimmer hot foil system, so keep a lookout for that. But I wish you a fantastic day, guys, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.